Hello guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to this first episode on my series of learning languages with creative exercises. So, if you are a creative person, then chances are that you have been trying dozens of apps, courses, textbooks, etc. for language learning, and you got tired and bored with it. And you might ask why. Is it me? I don't have patience. I don't have consistency. Maybe you think that I'm not made for language learning. No, that's not true. It's because you need another totally radically different method. Since you are a creative person, you don't work like many other people. You need creative exercises. You need to feel the excitement of creation, of creating a stuff by yourself. And you might ask, if I am an artist or just a very creative person, can I create art or write stuff that I like while at the same time learning a language? The answer is absolutely yes. And that's what we are learning with this series of creative exercises. I'm super excited to teach you that because nobody else is teaching this to creative people. Alright, so let's start. Okay, so we will start with something called image learning. Now, image learning is very simple. It's basically describing images with your language learning, but in a more creative way. So, these are the benefits of learning with images. Your brain makes a connection between images and words. You learn faster and more intuitively. This is how we learn languages basically from early on in childhood. We point at things, our parents remind us how these things are called, and then we repeat again and again until it sticks. So this is a very simple thing. We just go around the house when we are children and we point at things and we remember them after a while. And that's how we learn languages from the very beginning. Okay? So, this is the exercise. First of all, we go to our favorite image board. Instagram, Pinterest, etc. So in my case, I prefer Pinterest because here I can have all my things divided in different boards. So for example, I have a board called Creativity Ideas, okay, that I use for writing my stuff. Okay, as you can see, it's basically a lot of it is fantasy images, castles, magicians, etc. So whatever you like the most, you will have them on your boards. The next thing you do is you get one image you like. Okay, and I did that already, and I have this image here. Is from Rapunzel, from this fairy tale that was made a movie later on by Disney. As you can see, two elements are here that are very important when you choose the image that you want to work with. Okay, the first thing you need to make sure is that there is at least one character. Okay, we have Rapunzel here with her long hair and many other characters around. And then the second thing you need is a setting, a place, a place in general. So what you don't want is to have just one portrait of a person without any place. Okay, have at least one setting, one character. What you do next is you ask many questions to it. You brainstorm them as in an interview. So imagine that you are interviewing this character. Okay, what would you ask this character? I will show you here. As you see, I asked the question, but you can ask in any language you want. Okay, what I recommend is that you start with your native language. So here we have, who are you? What are you doing here? What is this city like? This city here. How is your personality and appearance? Look how I am asking her as if I was interviewing her directly. I'm not saying what is her personality. Okay, that's important because this way you can get into this character's place. So what is your personality? Your physical appearance? What are your hobbies and interests? What is the story behind this city here? What is this city located? And finally, what are you looking for? What is your desire? What are you doing here? What do you want to accomplish here? And then obviously you will answer the questions in the language you are learning. So here I already replied to my own questions, and I did that in the language I am learning, which is Japanese. I will tell you in English the things that I replied just for you to see how you can use your own imagination to learn languages. So for example, here what I did was I said that this is the blacksmith's daughter. Then later, what are you doing here? I answered that this girl, like in Narnia, I don't know if you know Narnia, probably yes. She got there instead of a wardrobe, she got there through a bookshelf. Okay, behind the bookshelf there was a hole, and he got to this other world. And here the second line, I am just saying that I am very excited, I'm walking on the street and surprised by what I am seeing, and also scared, etc, etc. You can see I am being imaginative. I'm just writing a sort of story, okay? And the only thing I want you to do is to have a lot of fun. Don't bother, don't care about mistakes for now, really. Just go for it. Write everything you like. What I recommend doing is that when you are writing, do it obviously with a dictionary. So, and don't worry, you can even use a translator. You can use, for example, DeepL. DeepL is a great translator. And what I do is I write things in Japanese, the things I remember. To give you an example, I didn't remember how bookshelf was in Japanese, but I remembered how to say mitsukeru, which is to find out something, to find, and also sekai, which is world. So I was writing separately, and then I tried to do the whole phrase without bookshelf here. Then later on, what I did was I put bookshelf here, and I found this word, okay, hondana. So to sum it up, just write down all the things you know about this language, write them down here, and then later you will be using the dictionary or the translator to make sure that you are writing it more or less correctly, okay? Now, this is a very important step. Once you finish writing the questions, all of them, then you hide the answers and review them out loud. And you do it very simple by hiding them with the white here, the white color disappears. You see, you do this with all the answers. As you can see now, the questions are only visible. So now you can see the answers. So what you do now is you ask yourself, who are you? And you try to answer. So, blacksmith, I don't remember how it is blacksmith in Japanese, but I know that the daughter is musume. Musume. So, what I do here now is I highlight it, and then I go to a dictionary. But here, well, I have my Rikai Champ, and you will see that it's something that is very nice for Japanese. You see, is kajiya. Kajiya. Okay, kajiya no musume. Kajiya no musume. Then next thing, what are you doing here? Now, imagine that you don't exactly remember how the order was of the phrase. This is very challenging. So what you do is you try to remember it visually first. What happened there? Okay, so this girl was she found a hole. She found a door behind the bookshelf, like in Narnia. Okay, and then she went through it and got into a new world. So now I will try to describe the same thing in Japanese. The first thing was hondana, which is a bookshelf. So hondana no oku ni, inside the bookshelf. Tobira o mitsukete, he find a door. Atarashii sekai ni itta, she entered into a new world. Let's see if we did it correctly. Okay, let's put this in black and see. Okay, you can do this with the dictionary. Here I have the dictionary as I told you. Hondana no oku ni, inner, you see, inside the library, the bookshelf. As you can see here, ni aru, that was the thing that I didn't say. Okay, so try to say it again with your eyes closed. Okay, hondana no oku ni aru. Hondana no oku ni aru. Then, tobira wo mitsukete, find the door. Watashi wa, well, this you don't need to say it in Japanese. And here, betsu no sekai. I said atarashii sekai, which is a new world instead of a different world. Doesn't matter actually. It's fine. So if you say something a bit different, slightly different, but it makes sense, you don't need to correct yourself. It's fine. Betsu no atarashi, it's okay. Ni itta. Okay? So, you do the same thing with all the different questions. As I told you, just go through them. Don't worry about making mistakes. You are just in a learning phase. So make mistakes, please. A lot of them. And don't worry about them. Just have fun with it, alright? Once you finish answering the questions, an important step to is check for proper pronunciation. So imagine that you don't remember how to pronounce properly the word blacksmith, which was kajiya. And it's also important because you will hear a native speaker saying this word, and this will enhance your memory as well. Now, the thing is that reviewing this image for 3 days, why 3 days? Is because you need constant exposure for new vocabulary. Alright, but you don't have to be obsessed with it. Why is that? Because you review for 3 days, but during these 3 days, you will be studying other images. And these images can be anything you want. Because again, the most important thing for a creative person is to have fun, to create stories. So don't worry about repeating phrases and words all the time. You only need to do this for 3 days. For 3 days, you just go to the different questions and try to answer them. That's it. And finally, what I recommend doing is to use a calendar to keep track of the different images that you are using. You can use Google Calendar to do so, but you can keep track of images in another way. You can keep track of them here in this Google Docs document. For example, here I have this image. You can write here day 1, day 2, day 3. And every time you review it, you put it here, reviewed. Pending. That's it. And you do this with each image that you are learning. And that's it. And this way, you are keeping track of images and you don't get lost. And this is it for today. I really hope that you had great fun with it. I'm sure that you had a blast if you are a creative person. So what I would like now is that you write your impressions and your stories in the comments below. Okay? Let us know which language you are learning and the story that you came up with, along with the image that you selected. Alright guys, thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe and to like the video. and see you next time. Bye bye.